Hey everyone, it's Alexander Robinson. Welcome to the channel, and this is my review for Trolls Band Together, the third movie in DreamWorks' Troll series. The movie once again follows our two main characters from the series, Poppy, voiced by Anna Kendrick, and Branch, voiced by Justin Timberlake. In this movie, we find out that Branch actually has several brothers and that he was once part of a boy band, but because they couldn't find the perfect family harmony, they all split up and went their different ways. So one of his brothers shows up out of nowhere to tell Branch that one of their other brothers has been kidnapped by two teenagers who want to be pop stars and basically steal the brother's essence to give them their talent. So it's up to Branch to try and get the boy band back together again. Poppy comes along with them on their journey and soon discovers that she has some family secrets of her own. I have not seen a single Trolls movie prior to this one because every time I look at these movies, I just feel like they're really uninspired. Again, this is me not having seen the movies, so I'm basically judging a book by its cover, or a movie by its trailer. I am aware of the brand though, because I've seen several of these characters pop up at Universal Studios Hollywood and Florida as meet and greets. And there was also that Justin Timberlake song that came out with the first movie that was playing everywhere. It seemed like for an entire 6 months, I could not escape that song. As for the movies themselves, people tell me that they're actually a lot better than they appear, so I'll take their word for it. It's just the trailers didn't really sell me all that well, especially the second movie, World Tour, where it pretty much looked like it was ripping off the plot to Infinity War, and from what I've been told, that's exactly what that movie is. So when it came to this movie, I actually saw it a couple weeks before it came out at the Animation is Film Festival. I got an invite from Universal to see it at that festival, and I thought, yeah, why not? And for somebody who has never seen any of these troll movies before, this was fun. I won't say this is among the greatest that DreamWorks has ever made, but one thing I'll give DreamWorks is that they have different tiers of movies they make. They make stuff that's really well written and funny, like the Shrek movies, or at least Shrek 1 and 2 and Puss in Boots 1 and 2. They make really great adventure films like the How to Train Your Dragon series, and they've mastered the martial arts stuff with Kung Fu Panda. But they've also not been afraid to just be super crazy and out there with some of their other movies. And in some cases, like The Bad Guys, it worked for me, whereas other cases like Madagascar, it did not. So Trolls is kind of more in the middle for me, again, just based off this one movie I've seen of theirs. And there's a lot that I like about it. I do like how colorful it is. Like, they really have a lot of unique locations. They go all out. The best way I can describe this movie is that it's very extroverted and hyperactive. If this movie were a human being, it would be like this human was injected with sugar, caffeine, and cocaine all at once. And a little bit of LSD, because it can be pretty wild, pretty sporadic, and pretty trippy. Sometimes it gets to a point where it's so sporadic that it gets annoying, but other times it's to a point where it's visually inspired. There's a lot of unique character designs in different locations that they just went full-blown crazy with, for the better. Unfortunately, this movie doesn't have a unique animation style like The Bad Guys or Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, but I think the fact that they just come up with so many unique locations and characters is more than enough to make up for a pretty standard animation look. And the hyperkinetic energy also feeds into the movie's characters and humor. The humor itself kind of reminded me a lot of the Lego movies. In fact, the director of the first Trolls ended up directing the sequel, the Lego movie, to the second part. And you can tell that these movies are very similar with their hyperkinetic energy, except I think the Lego movies are probably a little more clever and a little more willing to just be absurd than the Trolls movies are. And as for the characters themselves, I actually found them to be pretty likable. I wasn't like emotionally invested in them the way I am with some other DreamWorks characters, but I think for first impression, Branch and Poppy are cute together. Anna Kendrick does a really great job voicing Poppy, and Justin Timberlake does a good job with Branch as well. A lot of the other characters have their unique quirks. Some of them worked for me, and others kind of got annoying after a while, especially the little baby diamond guy. The character's name is Tiny Diamond, and there were a few points where he just kind of got on my nerves as the little baby trying to act like a grown-up. I also like that despite how crazy and insane this movie can get, it doesn't forget to have a message about siblings. How, yeah, you may have some rocky relationships with your brothers or sisters, but they are family, and it is best to look out for one another. It's a basic message, it's nothing too groundbreaking or anything, but it does help keep the movie and its characters a little grounded when everything else around them is just an LSD acid trip at points. So this being my first exposure to the Trolls movies, I found this to be pretty charming. I like the over-the-top nature to it at points. The characters are fun, it's got some really good music, and there were a handful of decent jokes that got some decent laughs out of me, whether they came from the characters, something they said, or just visual gags in the background. This movie never stops being entertaining, and if I'm gonna be totally honest, I got more out of this than I did Disney's Wish, because Wish just felt so corporate and uninspired and lazy. This one, there's actually some creativity put into it, and as crazy as it is, it kind of had an idea of what it wanted to be. So again, as somebody who has never seen these movies before, I'll say this one is good, but not great. Would I be in a major rush to see the first two movies? No, but I'd be open to watching them at some point now that I know that, hey, these movies are not as bad as the trailers make them out to be. So yeah, this movie was a ton of fun. Not one of DreamWorks' bests, but enjoyable nonetheless. And there you go, that's my review for Trolls Band Together. I hope you enjoyed it. And now I want to know what you guys think about the movie. If you've seen it, what did you think? Whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get notifications. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Letterboxd, Threads. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day and take care of yourselves.